It's May 1st, the final day of hustings. If this is your first time catching the show, I'm Natasha, the host of The Usual Place, and you've made it just in time for the final episode of the GE Special of this podcast. My guests today are two ST journalists and a video journalist who have been covering all the election action weeks before it started. They've been kicked out of the stadium, hung out with candidates to capture a day in a life-off, and they've been recognised when they're out and about. Now, besides seeing the election unfold on the job, ST journalists Wong and Christie Chiu and video journalist Isabelle Kumar are also first-time voters. Welcome to The Usual Place, you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
You guys are very stressed. It's okay. It's not. I just want to find out about your experiences on the ground. I mean, two things I really want to ask you is about creating content for the election from your point of view as young reporters and how you feel about voting. But we'll start with Christie and Yang. Now, you guys have become, should I call you like budding media personalities? You know, people are loving the content you're putting out. And it's not me saying this. I've been reading the comments because I always read the comments. So let's have a look and we'll have you react to them.
Oh.
Okay. Christie looks a little bit scared, but it's okay. Don't worry. So the first comment that has come up is, this pair from ST is great. Where have they been all this time? Let's have them break down every parliament session too. Have you guys covered parliament before?
As a reporter, yes, but not on video.
Not on video. Yeah. So what do you make of this comment?
It's very nice to get these kind of comments, and it's nice that I guess the content resonates with people. But we hope to continue making such content even after the GE. But it's up in the air what will happen, and
pending approval.
Yeah, pending approval.
Okay, so I guess people might want to know what motivated y'all to do videos in this way, besides your boss making you do it.
I think a lot of the video ideas actually came from conversations we've had with our audience or all our friends, really. And we have noticed that actually videos that came out from us, from conversations we've had with like our actual friends and them asking like, or things that they feel that are difficult to understand, those tend to do better. So like I think the most recent explainer we did on young voters came out from a conversation I had with a friend at a party where she was like, actually, what's the point of voting? Like, I don't really see the point, or she didn't feel like there was any like tangible change that she felt like came up from voting. So we wanted to break down like kind of...
Yeah.
Is nodding like furiously like, yes. What do you make?
So did your friend see that video after you
Actually, I haven't asked her. Maybe I should send it to her. She doesn't know that she's the inspiration behind that video. I'm a bit shy to tell
When
her.
you give her a shout out, like say, hey, we were at a party and it was you who inspired me to make this video. Well, we'll actually have that video in a little bit so our viewers can watch it. I want to tell you guys that, I don't know if you've seen this comment, but you've been compared to another famous media pair. So the comment is, you guys are the Gen Z version of Glenda, Chong and Chia. What do you make of that? Agree, disagree? You're the newer version.
I mean, it's high praise.
Yeah,
we're
sure.
very early on in our career.
And also our day jobs are, we're not presenters, you know, we are journalists, we spend most of our time writing. So this is actually like a side hustle, kind of, to start presenting and start being
You
on
don't
video.
make any extra cash from this. No, your paycheck is still the same.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very new for both of us.
Yeah, but also a lot of it is like how the final product like helps us come across, right? Which is actually like not just us.
Yeah.
There's a team behind us doing all of this. So Vera, Chong Li, and Friday help us a lot with creating this content. Yeah.
What was it like for y'all in front of the camera? Because a lot of it is, Christie and you, I won't say acting, but you're kind of like, presenting it in a different, not your usual news presentation style.
Yeah. We wanted a style that will not just resonate in terms of the content, but also in the way that it's delivered and the way that it feels to the viewer. So that's where our team really came in, and because they have a lot of experience writing for social media. So even when we might script and research the videos ourselves, sometimes we felt like the lines
It
read
comes
a
off
bit.
as very print.
Yeah, it
by
comes off
writers,
as a ST article, so it felt very forced sometimes. So the team really comes in to help and brings the script to life, and we insert gags here and there, and makes it more conversational. Yeah.
Which was your favorite video to do? Oh,
I think
everyone's a favorite.
I think we really like the young voters
Yeah, we
video.
keep plugging this video, but we
Which
really like
We'll see in a bit. We'll see in a bit.
Yeah.
We're teasing it massively. We'll see in a bit.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I want to go to the third comment because this affects all of us at the couch. But the third comment says, I cannot I might actually consider subscribing to ST if this goes any further. What do you?
That's great.
You should
You should.
subscribe to ST, of course.
I think we need to give them a reason as to. Well, actually, the content is a reason for why we subscribe. Why people should subscribe to ST, right? Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of good work has come out of the GE period, and a lot of our colleagues do really important and inform and really, really engaging content that we're putting out. So there's every reason that people should subscribe to, follow, and keep informed, and helps them to make a decision on May 3rd.
And a lot of like time and effort goes into like one video. Right? Like, how long do you guys take to do like one video?
Maybe.
For the explainers, it takes a while, like because we actually speak to experts to help to shape the analysis that goes into the video, and then there's a lot of research, and actually we also have a great library team at ST that helps to dig up the archives, and the clippings we actually use in the videos come from them. So that for the explainers it takes a while, but we also have like the raps that we do after each rally, after some of the rallies, which we just shoot on the night itself.
And like memorizing the script also, right? Like and things like that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I think like working in media, like especially when such an oversaturated era, right? It can feel like I put in all this effort and then like it just goes into the void. But I think like when we get feedback like this, it makes us feel very encouraged. Like what we do kind of matters. Yeah.
Which means you will like the next comment that has come up as well. It basically is from someone who says, they at the Straits Times and says, give this whole team a raise.
Yes, please.
Yes, no, I think to our editor who is hopefully watching, everybody on this couch needs, including me, also needs a break. No, we'll see what happens after this. But what do you want to? So the G is almost coming to an end. Well, on May 3rd. So how would you sum up this experience of yours, working on this content for ST audience?
Good question.
In terms of like learning, because you guys, as I mentioned earlier, were first-time voters, and a lot of information, is it new to you? Because I saw one of the videos that you did was about how people voted back in the day, like in Pulau Ubin, they had to take a poll, or the drama that was happening at one of the elections, which also I didn't know, and I voted 3 times. But so, as first-time voters, what did you make of the information that you guys learned, or from going to rallies for the first time?
I think as a first-time voter, you actually you can feel like there's an overload of information because there's just so much content and so much news coming out every day. So I guess through the videos, we try to kind of unpack the information for people and try to break it down so that it's slightly more digestible and accessible, and people can kind of stay abreast of what's going on.
Actually, I don't get to vote this year.
Why, Christie? Why?
Because if you watch our video, I live in Marine Parade, Braddell High, GRC. But such is life. I don't get to vote. The first time I'll be able to vote in the general election, I'll be 30.
Which is the next election, is it?
It's the next election.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We got 5 years. We got a whole different show in 5 years. Yeah, but Isabelle, when you are looking, because Yang mentioned the oversaturation of content, what would you say to your peers about picking out what is relevant to them? Because everything is out there, and then you just get bombarded every day. Yeah.
And I think before you can even pick out, you need to like educate yourself also, right? So that means like, I think just making informed decisions by like going for rallies, and like I think it's very easy to be in like an echo chamber when you're in like the same social circle, right? Just like hearing like the same opinions from like your friends and families, and like how do you even form your own opinion, especially if you've been growing up in like, in a certain environment. Yeah, so I would say like just go for rallies, guys. Like today there's like 12 rallies. Just go and like just see like what's on the ground, the sentiments. And I think it's very exciting. It's like going for a concert. I would say it's very different from like watching it online versus like going to a rally. So it's just like go for rallies and like...
Because you guys have been to... I know that you have been to 5, right? Oh, every other day, something like that, right? And Isabelle, how many?
I've only been for 1.
1. Okay, today is the last day you can like get all your rally fix in, right? Because as you mentioned, there's 12. Was there anything that you took away from this? So this is the first time you've ever experienced a rally, because in 2020 it was COVID and there were no physical rallies. So as first-time voters, what was your biggest takeaway from being there in person and listening to candidates and hearing the cheers and seeing the merch?
I think for one, like I've had never been to a rally before because my family doesn't have that habit. But I think I was just very amazed that, or like surprised that people were not as apathetic as I thought they were. Like, I don't know where the sentiment came from, but I just kind of thought that Singaporeans in general are very apathetic. Or when we care, we care in behind closed doors or in safe spaces or in comment sections. But it was very exciting for me to see like all these very public, impassioned displays of like care for the future of Singapore. And then the Bedok rally was really fun.
Yeah, so the Bedok rally on, I can't remember which day it was, but
So it's all one long.
it was just a few days ago.
chat,
It feels like a long time ago. But it was raining, so we were stuck, I think, outside the stadium because the gates hadn't opened yet. But despite the rain, all the supporters or people attending the rally were just out there with their umbrellas and braving the rain. And there was a strange, kind of a communal experience, and people were kind of chanting and asking to be let in, and just being there with everyone felt really nice.
I didn't expect to like rallies also because I don't really like crowds. And then I used to think that like what you said, I thought that I can just get the information I need online.
Yeah.
But actually the atmosphere was really exciting. Yeah.
It's like that Singaporean spirit, right? Like that camaraderie in that sense, which I didn't expect to feel.
Right.
Yeah, because like I was just surrounded by like uncles and aunties, mostly. But then they're like super like convicted. And then like every time like a candidate walks out, they're like shouting their name. Then I think just seeing that was like, wow, like I also want to be like with them, and I also want to like shout and cheer. So
Plus, like to your earlier point, I think my biggest takeaway is that I think really to truly be an informed voter, it's not just about paying attention during the 9 days of campaigning. It's a lot about like staying educated or like up to date, like throughout the whole 5-year term. Because a lot of times, like in rallies, when they are like going back and forth, a lot of what they are talking about are things that have been debated about in Parliament. And it's hard to like really make sense of it. Like even as someone who works in news, like sometimes I feel like it's not that easy to fully grasp all the details of every single saga that happens, which is where I think like we also come into. But basically, we need to do better, or like continue doing a good job of like making the information as accessible as possible.
So I want to talk to Isabelle for a couple of minutes, because you got access to a very popular candidate, the Workers' Party's Alexis Deng, who's running in Punggol GRC. And you also were following a PAP candidate in Tanjong Pagar GRC, Cexiang, who was on this couch a couple of days ago. Before we get into it, let's watch a video. Let's watch a little bit of the videos you've done with them.
Okay. I'm with Alexis Deng of the Workers' Party and follow her on a day of campaigning. Where do you guys get your blue shirts from?
Oh, this is from Sylvia. Oh, this is her shirt, yeah. I didn't realize that black shoes is part of the uniform. So I went home and I found a pair of black shoes that my mom owns. After just, 10-15 minutes of walking, it just like fell apart.
This is Cexiang of the People's Action Party, and today I'm going to follow him on a campaign trail. We are at our second block visit right now. I'm super tired. I'm just trailing behind Cexiang, and just look at him. You can hear him before we can see him.
Madam Aisha, okay. Hi, Madam Aisha. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you.
I saw you obviously in that video with Alexis, because she's super popular, as I mentioned. People have been queuing up in Punggol GRC to wherever she is, right, to see her.
Yeah.
Did you get a ton of messages after that saying?
I think everyone was like jealous of me. It's like I feel like she's very popular, and also because like she's young and she's a new face, and I got to experience that firsthand, like seeing like people queue up to take photos with her. And I think just like having this opportunity to be on the ground with them, right, it really gave me like a different perspective. I think like I was just thinking like I don't think I can be a candidate. Like you have to be like super gracious. Like she was like trying to eat, like even with Cexiang, they're like trying to eat, and then like people were just like stopping them for photos and like just wanting to talk to them all the time. So it was just very interesting to see that perspective, and also to realize that they're also human. Like they're very like down to earth. I think there was this like comment on Alexis's video where she was like using wired headphones, and they're like, wow, like she's so real, like she's so like authentic, she uses wired headphones. Like I love that. So I think people like to see that side of like candidates, right? Because I think sometimes they can seem like a bit far removed when we see them on like the screens and things like that, but no lah, they're actually really like normal everyday people.
Okay.
My experience.
Did y'all watch the video as well with both candidates?
Yeah, we saw the one with Alexis and Cexiang.
Do you get like a sense of who they are as candidates as well?
Yes, I think so. Because like Yeah, it just felt like a lot less curated image of them,
Yeah.
which and
Yeah.
And I think there's something like really like intimate about being in like, someone's house, right?
Right,
And
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
here's a day in my life.
Yeah, correct. And like Cexiang also, like, I think like you look at him and you're thinking like, oh, it's just like another new face. But no, he was like super energetic. He was like running, like sprinting from unit to unit. And I was like honestly trying to keep up with his pace. And I'm like, wow, I don't know how like these candidates do it. Like they really work very hard. And I hope I was able to like translate that in the videos also. Because I think like people just see them as like, I know another candidate running, blah, blah, blah. But no, they actually like really work hard, especially during these days of hustings. Yeah.
And how do people react on the ground?
I think people were like quite open. I think they were like, okay, so one thing that I thought was interesting is that people are not afraid to like question. They're not afraid to like ask the candidate like, why should I vote for you? Which I thought was like quite surprising because I would think that Singaporeans are usually more like mild-mannered or like they don't like ask questions or maybe they just like ignore the candidate, right? But no, like some of them they were like why should I vote for you? Like why are you here? And like who are you? You're a new face. Like why should I vote for you? So they weren't afraid of like asking hard questions and like I guess that puts the candidates on the spot. But I mean that's what campaigning is for also. Yeah.
So you've been covering, all three of you have been covering the election every single day, but at the same time you're also experiencing it as journalists, but also as first-time voters, right? I know, Christie, you said you can't vote, but yet you powered through to make this video about voting with Yang. So let's have a watch and listen to it.
I think I'm not going to vote this year.
Huh? Why?
People always say your vote matters, but does it actually?
Of course it does. Just look at my licensed adopted cat. One of the reasons I can keep Luna is because of MP Louis Ng's decade-long push in Parliament to lift the ban on owning cats in HDB flats. If people hadn't elected him into Parliament, then the issue might not have gotten the attention it deserved.
Oh.
Opposition MPs have also raised important issues. They've called for payouts for retrenched workers for several years now.
Oh yeah, this year the government launched this scheme to give temporary financial support to jobless Singaporeans.
You can also use your vote to leave a review on what the government has done, which can lead to changes in Parliament.
Oh, you mean like in 2020, when the PAP's vote share dropped?
Yeah, political scientists think voters were signalling that they wanted more political diversity. This led the government to create the leader of the opposition role, which had never been done before. Basically, your vote could be the one to tip the scales, especially in tight races. Back in 2011, the PAP Sito Ipin beat SPP candidate Lina Chiam in Potong Pasir by just 114 votes. Remember?
Wow, that's less than the number of people living in a HDB block.
If you're young, you make up almost half of the voters in these areas, so your choice matters.
I guess I'll go and vote.
See you at the polls.
You guys are so cute. Is that really you at 11? Was that a photo of you at 11?
That was.
Technically, you're not 11.
Technically, I wasn't 11, but because my birthday's in June, I think that photo was like May or something.
Then technically, I would have been 10 lah.
Okay, but you guys are so cute.
Yeah,
Yes.
the last shot was it was by our videographer Chong Lee.
Yeah.
So he had idea to shoot from the opposite block. And
Yeah, and she was very scary to shoot because like I was so high up. I was like, they was like, can you come out further and like do this V? And I was like,
Well, yes, I think a lot of people were looking at that photo of you at 11 and I was like, okay, you were 11 then. It was a very long time ago for me, but for you guys, it was just like a couple of years ago.
No, it feels very long ago.
All right, so I wanted to ask all three of you, what is one moment or lesson from this campaign that's going to stick with you beyond May 3rd that you've learned about the voting process, about, campaigning? Yeah, Isabelle?
Okay, maybe for me, I think, I don't know whether this will like resonate with y'all, but like I think being in the media and like putting yourself out there, it kind of makes me resonate with the candidates as well, right? Like, like them being like in the public eye. And I think one thing that will resonate with me is that, like, I think what I mentioned earlier, it's just like we're all human. Yeah, and like it's not easy to put yourself out there. I think like even as like a video journalist myself, like sometimes like you can get boggled down by like really mean comments and things like that. So I think one lesson is just to like be kind. Just like be kind to like your candidates, even if you don't like agree. I think there's always like a way to formulate your thoughts and your opinions in a kind way. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're all just human, and the candidates are like human also. I think that's like my takeaway. As cliche as it sounds lah. Yeah, not really related to GE, but just like on an emotional side, on an emotional level, for me. Yeah.
I think that's very important because we have seen how it can get very polarizing, especially online. So I think just remembering that every candidate and every other person expressing a view online is also someone else who has a family and who has genuine, valid concerns about certain issues, and just trying to see the other person as a fellow human being and not so much as someone who is necessarily someone adversarial or someone that you're going up against, and just making space for that debate to happen and exchanging views in a fair and I guess compassionate way. Yeah.
Christie, what was your takeaway?
I think what I mentioned earlier about how about staying informed throughout all 5 years leading up to general election, because it can feel a bit like you're playing catch up in those 9 days.
And did it get overwhelming in a sense?
Yes, I think it got really overwhelming. Like there's always like a new development, there's always a new story. Like what happened on this walkabout, what happened here, like there's this drama, this scandal, and I think it is really hard to kind of cut through the noise and figure out like what is the main thing that we need to focus on.
All right. Thank you very much for being here. What will you be doing on polling day? Well, Christie's not voting.
Voting.
Yeah, voting. But what-wise will you be at? Any rallies, Isabelle?
I don't think so. I think I'll be in office doing all the clip outs that you guys see online for social media and all the memes as well. Yeah, for GE. That's what I'm doing on polling day.
All right. Yang and Christie, will you be creating more videos?
I think we're going back to our
day job.
The job.
Yeah, the day job.
and we're gonna be at the polling centers, things, and
All right. It's back to life as usual. So after May 3rd. But thank you very much for being here and sharing your point of view of, experiencing the GE as reporters and first-time voters. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
It's cooling off day tomorrow, but on May 3rd, Singapore goes to the polls. I'll be back on polling day at 7:50 p.m. with my co-host Olivia Quay to take you through the results of GE 2025. We'll also discuss the election with 3 panelists who will break down how things unfolded in key GRCs and SMCs and what it all means. So, for now, it's a wrap on the special run of The Usual Place. And I'm legit sad that this is the last episode of the GE series. It's been a long 9 days, but I've loved bringing you on for the ride. And a big thank you to all the guests who have dropped by the couch on The Usual Place, and for you for spending your lunchtime with me. I'll see you again at The Usual Place when we're back to regular programming. See you!
bye.